Welcome to another edition of Discover Tinley, where we talk about things in Tinley Park and the things that make Tinley Park a great place in which to live, the people and organizations around town. And we all know that Tinley Park is a pretty great place in which to live. Summer's coming, obviously. Firstly, my name is Ron Centenni. I'll be your host tonight. And with summer coming here in Tinley Park, a lot of things are happening. As you heard on our last show, the farmers market is starting up this month. Cruise nights with the custom and the classic cars on Oak Park Avenue on Tuesday nights are coming up. The farmers market, as you said before, the benches on Oak Park Avenue are now sprouting flowers. So try to take a look at those. June 13th, there'll be an artist walk where you can meet the artists. So come out for the artist walk on June 13th for the benches on the avenue. So a lot of things happening in Tinley Park. Enjoy the summer while we have it, and hopefully it'll be a good summer for you all. One thing I'd like to mention before we go on, recently we had an election in Tinley Park, and we'd like to say congratulations to our new trustees and fond farewell to our trustees that are recently not going to be with us anymore. Greg Hannon, Pat Leone, and Tom Staunton. We thank them very much for the service they gave to the village over the many years. Look forward to a new future ahead of us. Tonight we have some very interesting guests, more education-oriented with the schools and everything like that. Our first guests are recently nominated and selected as scholarship winners of Tinley Park. Tinley Park this year gave out 8 scholarships to deserving high school students that live in the town. And we have 2 of the winners here with us tonight, Matt Prusak and Molly Blitstein. Welcome to Discover Tinley.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, scholarship winners. That means you are very intelligent and outstanding, right?
Sure.
I would hope so.
Let's go with that.
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
What motivates you to do well academically? What drives you to do your best academically? What makes you want to do well academically?
I mean, it's just fun a lot of the time with the classes I'm taking now. Like, I think of it less as work and more of this is fun to be here kind of thing.
I like that. It's a good attitude to have towards your education. Not like it's drudgery. This is kind of fun learning on. So, okay, how about you?
I like to take classes that interest me, like family consumer sciences or art classes. And I like to challenge myself with like AP classes. I've been in AP and honors all 4 years. So I just like to push myself and try to see what I can accomplish with it.
Oh, it sounds like you've accomplished quite a bit.
I would hope so. I have a few rough classes, but overall it's pretty good.
What are both of your favorite subjects? What subjects? What do you like? What have you liked the best in high school so far?
So far, it's probably engineering and design. We get to that and architectural CAD because they're kind of the same class now. But like we get to draw up stuff on CAD or 3D print something or use the CNC machine to cut stuff out on wooden blocks, and it's really fun.
Wow. Okay, and what do you like the best?
My favorite class is early childhood education. We get to work with 3 and 4-year-old preschool students for 3 days a week for a year, and we get to go on field trips with them, do like a whole curriculum and learning state standards and everything. So you get to like prepare to be a teacher, and it's really fun to work with the preschool students.
That young an age, you like working? I could never do
you have to do a prereq class where you work with younger students, and it's 2 days a week. And then you get to move on. And then I was selected to become an independent study this year. So she chooses the top 4 students with the highest grades for the year. And we get to go on to become her like assistants for the next year. So I get to work with them again.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, I worked with high school kids. To me, anything younger than that is difficult, so I give you credit. First of all, I didn't mention, what schools are you from? What school do you go to?
Lincoln Way North.
Lincoln Way North?
And I go to Andrew High School.
Andrew High School, 2 of our outstanding schools in the area here. Community service, that was a big part of the scholarship thing. What community service activities did you all do? What community service things did you do?
I've worked with St. Coletta's. It's for like especially like challenged, like disabled people. They get to go like live on their own. They get to work with jobs. So I've helped them with Special Olympics, working on their houses and stuff. I volunteer at the public library a lot over the summer, the Park District. I've also done Operation Snowflake, which is a continuation of DARE for middle school students. And that's most of what I've done for community service.
Wow. How about you?
Well, I've been here at the studio for 2.5, 3 years now, every couple weeks or every week. Okay. I've built sets at different schools for the plays and the musicals, and then I helped out at Key Club the service club in my school for a couple things.
Okay. Yeah, the studio thing. Yeah, Matt has been a superb performer here at the studio. I give you a lot of credit.
Thank you.
You did an excellent job, camera work and editing and the whole gamut. You really gained a lot and done a lot here. It's been tremendous. And we were very fortunate to have high school kids help us out along with some of our fine adults. We got some adult volunteers too. So we got some excellent volunteers, and Matt was an excellent volunteer at the studio for all these years. What did you get? What did you gain out of that? What did that mean to you, or how did that help you?
I learned a lot with cameras and editing and computers and all that fun stuff we deal with. It also showed me how important communication is, because it lets people know what's going on when it is, so you don't just scramble on looking for stuff to do.
Wow. And what else? How many hours a week did you kind of put in here? Or
a week or total?
Total? You got a total? Lots, huh?
A couple hundred probably.
Wow. Okay.
Something like that.
And spell out what things you did where I can breathe. What things did you actually work on here?
Well, I would film the shows like this, and then the 3 weeks after we'd edit them, and then when we're done editing, we'd send it out to Comcast for them to play it on the TV, and then we'd go out to like the block party or like concerts at the train station, other stuff like that, and film that too.
Okay. And what other community service activities you've been involved in?
Well, like I said, with building sets for the other Lincoln Way school, because they didn't have like an actual like crew there. That's kind of had parents
wasn't
volunteer.
that your school?
Well, no, it was a different school.
Oh.
It was at West.
Oh.
Because our school's the only one with a student-run crew. Other than that, they help on parents. But no one signed up for that year, so they brought us along, and we just kind of volunteered.
Wow, good for you.
Thanks.
What do you gain from community service? What did you gain from the service that you did? What kind of things are you going to take away from all the stuff that you participated in?
From Operation Snowflake, I've got to work with 7th and 8th grade students, and we do like team building activities. We have motivational speakers that come in, and they basically tell us like never be afraid to be yourself, and we kind of just like people you wouldn't expect to talk. We always talk together, and we become close, and even if it's just for a day. So I like being able to like work with them and just be myself and not be afraid to show it.
Wow. And briefly, Snowflake is, what's the purpose of Snowflake?
It's a drug and alcoholic abuse prevention. So we teach kids, this is what can happen when you do drugs and alcohol. We teach them, be yourself because, that's who you are. Don't be afraid to show that. And just kind of, work together to, boost their confidence and everything.
Okay.
So. And
you mentioned you got to learn more about communications, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. You about communicating well? And
yeah, I guess so.
Why is it important, you think, young people should do community service? Why would you recommend young people do that kind of stuff?
Because it'll get them out of their comfort zone. Instead of just, I don't know, playing Xbox when they're bored, then go help people or help people find out things like volunteering here or just volunteering in general.
I think the joy you see when you volunteer to help people, it makes you feel good inside, just knowing that you're helping them and they find enjoyment in it too.
Wow, okay, and you saw, especially with the young people.
Oh yeah, I've worked a lot with younger kids for my volunteer.
Okay, would you recommend for your high school students to do it? Do you actually recommend to your fellow students, hey, get involved?
Definitely. We have to have our community service hour. We have to do 24 hours by the time we graduate high school. And there's seniors who wait until the very last minute to do it. And I was done with 100 hours my first semester of high school. I just love volunteering, and I don't understand why people don't enjoy it.
Wow, yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I'd recommend it. It's really fun.
Yeah,
and same, I was done with my hours, I think, end of sophomore year. So there's kids who were turning them in yesterday, and it was due last week.
Oops.
So, I mean, there's some people who waited too long.
Oh, wow. High school, what kind of things you remember? What's going to be your most memorable parts of high school years? Either one of you.
You can go.
All of the clubs I've been part of, I've met so many people from them. We've done a lot of different trips for choir. My sophomore year, we went to Disney World for performances, and we got to see our marching band perform in a parade. I've gone to do some pretty amazing things for my theater department. We go to the state festival every year, and we recently brought one of our own shows. We were selected out of all the schools in the state to bring a show down there to perform. We sold out to 1,300 people. Wow. So Definitely the programs that I've had at school.
Wow, that's a lot.
It was a lot. We sold out. People were fighting over tickets. It was,
Oh, wow.
It was pretty exciting.
Now, I recently you had the Beauty and the Beast on last week,
weekend, yeah.
Last weekend. What was your job on that now?
I was an assistant stage manager. So we have a stage manager and 2 assistants, and we learn everything like the back of our hand. We learn all of the actors, their lines, their dancing, their songs, their blocking, so where they're going at what point on the stage. And we also work with the crew. So during performances, the 3 of us will call the show. We'll say if we're ready to start, when we're ready to change the scene, when the actors are ready to go. So the 3 of us are basically in charge for the night. Wow. And that's been my job for the past 2 years.
Wow. And that show was excellent. I
Thank you.
would highly encourage people, if you see high school musicals or shows in the area, go see them. They're, to me, is about as good as you see downtown.
Thank you.
So keep up the good work with it. Do you think you might continue that on?
I'm not going to major in it, but I might minor in theater, or at least I'm going to still participate. Okay. I've been doing theater since 3rd grade, so I'm not just going to stop doing it now.
Oh, my. What's your memorable high school experiences that we can talk about?
Yeah. It'd probably be stage crew in general, between the plays, the musical, the talent show, the dance show, everything. It'd just be stage crew in general. Like, it takes up so much time, but so many fun things happen while you're there. Like Peter Pan, we just did the musical. We sold out 2 nights, and I was the unofficial leader of the flight crew.
Oh.
Because we were flying people in the air for this one, and it was really fun.
Oh, my, yeah. I was out of town for that. I couldn't see that, but you were on the actual helping people fly around?
Yeah, it was scary but fun.
Okay. Probably more scary for the person on the end of the rope, but
she seemed to be cool with it, so I'm like, okay, if you're not scared, I'm not scared. So.
Oh, wow. Okay. Future plans. What are you both considering doing? What are you going to do after high school?
I'm going to go to Moraine Valley for the first 2 years to get my gen eds out of the way, and then after that, I'm going to do something with architectural drafting.
Ooh, that sounds interesting. I've always been interested in architecture.
Yeah.
That's actually okay. Designing what? Anything particular you're looking forward to designing, or?
Not really. Just getting in there and doing it at this point.
Okay. What are you thinking about?
I'm going to University of Wisconsin-Whitewater for elementary education and English as a second language.
Oh, as a second language. Wow.
Yeah, to help teach kids who don't know English, like to help them go through
Good
school.
Luck.
Thank you.
I'm a former English teacher, so I was tough teaching English people how to speak English.
I do Spanish at school, so hopefully it'll help with that.
Oh, so. Wow, okay. Any favorite teachers at school? Any people we'd like to really say these teachers really kind of stood out for me, and why?
My 2 favorite teachers have been my early childhood education teacher, Mrs. Nez, and my culinary and teaching internship teacher, Mrs. Zableski. They've definitely impacted me and inspired me to become a teacher even more.
Wow. Okay.
So.
Mine would probably be Mr. Davis and Mr. Davis. They're brothers, but they switched out between the years. Like, I took Architectural CAD 1 my junior year, and I had the one brother, and then this year I had the other brother. But they're both my favorite teachers.
Wow. Okay.
They're both really good.
Well, that's good. And sometimes teachers don't hear from students that they were nice to them. So I'd encourage you, make sure you go back and tell your teachers, hey, I liked your class, okay? Yeah. And encourage you. Good testament to the kind of students, young people we have in Tinley Park. Matt Prusak and Molly Blitstein. Excellent examples of the kind of young people that are coming up and will be taking over our community and our world. Good luck to you with the world you're taking over.
Thank you.
But congratulations on the excellent job that you've done, and again, thank you so much for all you've done at the studio. We couldn't have done it without you guys helping us out, so thank you so much.
Thanks for letting me be
here.
here.
Good luck to these students, and hopefully we'll see some great things out of the other students too. Take care. Well, it's kind of interesting that we saw some very excellent students from our local schools and the product of our school education system in Tinley Park and the area here. The other end of it is the administrative end of it. Now, we thought we'd talk to a school board member of the high school district in town here, 230, the District 230 school, and Andrew, Stagg, and Sandberg are part of that district. And thought it'd be interesting to see what's the role of a school board member and how do they have impact on what happens with our students. So we have with us today one of the school board members from 230, Tony Serratore.
All right.
Thank you for coming to Discover Tinley.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
It's great to be here.
School board member. Now, first of all, how many years have you been on the board now?
This will starting my 3rd year on the board right now.
Okay.
So I was elected in 2013.
Okay. And how long have you lived in Tinley Park?
Been out here for 28 years.
Oh my!
So it's been a while. It's gone quick.
Okay. I think that when did Andrew get built? That's about the time when
It was before that.
Okay.
Yeah, but Andrew is the newest of the 3 schools, but it was before I got here.
Wow. So. What made you run for the school board? Why did you even want to get involved with this in the first place?
Well, I had 2 sons that have gone to Andrew. And when my second son was still there, I became a member of the Building and Finance Committee. So the school board has 3 subcommittees, which include community members. So I decided to become a member of the Building and Finance Committee. I was on the committee for 5 years. And when the elections came up, a couple of school board members asked me if I might be interested in running for the school board. And initially, I was like, I don't know if I want to be doing this. I'm not sure what it involves. I think it's a lot of time. But we talked a little bit. I talked it over with my wife, and we decided to try it and see what would happen. And fortunately, I won the election, and now we've been on it for 2 years.
Wow.
So,
now, what have you found? What's your job as a school board member? What should people know that a school board member's responsibilities are these?
Well, we have a lot of different responsibilities. The one thing that we don't do is we don't run the day-to-day operation of the schools. That's up to the superintendent, who we are responsible for hiring and providing the contract. And it's up to the building principals and the rest of the administration. Our role is more of guidance and monitoring to see what's going on, making sure that funds are spent in the right way, making sure that the programs that we do are what's appropriate for the schools, for the community. So we really are a monitoring organization. We do propose our own ideas, and if there's things that we see going on that we don't like, we will try to enact change. The one thing also that's important to understand is that a school board member, we are only one of 7. We cannot act individually. We can have our own opinions, but anything that is implemented has to be voted on, and the majority wins. So regardless of what our opinion is, we are only one person. We all bring different ideas to the table, and one of the most important things that we do deals with money.
And that's the biggest thing I think I wanted to bring up. Everybody looks in that tax bill and they say, whoa, this tax bill is quite high, and that school board, the schools are probably the biggest portions of that. What do you have to consider to go into that large tax amount for the schools?
Well, as most people know, the state of Illinois is having financial problems, and every year they continue to cut the amount of money that they give to the schools.
Now, I think they're supposed to do what? Over half is supposed to be what the state's supposed to supply?
Well, that was in the original mandate that was passed many, many years ago, and as we all remember, the lottery was going to pay for the schools.
Exactly.
I'm not sure if any of that money ever went into the schools. So we keep getting less and less money. And in fact, 85% of the budget for the district is provided by taxes, which is a really large sum. And in fact, it is the highest amount in any state in the country where we ask our taxpayers to pay for our schools. Illinois is the lowest state in the country in providing funding for schools.
Oh my.
So that's why we have to rely on the taxpayers. The one other thing that people need to understand, yes, we do probably have the biggest number on your tax bill, but not only is our funding in that tax bill, but there is also an amount that's charged by the county. Every year, a budget is proposed by the Assistant Superintendent of Business for the schools. The Building and Finance Committee reviews it, then it goes to the board, and it's open for public comment. That budget then determines what we need from an income side or collection side. And in order to generate that revenue, we have to look at the tax base and what is available. Now, for the last 2 years, we have proposed a zero tax levy. So we have not asked for any additional funds from the taxpayers for the last 2 tax years. However, tax bills have gone up. The reason is that in addition to our levy, the Cook County also puts a levy into that bill. And what that levy is for is they estimate the number of taxpayers who will be delinquent, who will not pay, or who will in one way or another get a refund. So the county wants to make sure they get all their money, so they determine how much they think is going to be in that pool of unpaid or refunded money, and then they add that to the tax bill. So what most taxpayers don't know is we're not the only people who put a number in that tax bill. The county also does.
So you put your number in, but somebody else adds another number to it.
Right. So even if we say that we've done a zero levy, which we have the last 2 years, people still see their tax bills going up and wonder, okay, who's not telling the truth? Well, the truth is that the difference is the county.
Yeah. What kind of things go into the budgeting? What's your biggest, obviously your biggest expense is probably salaries, right?
Right. Salaries, benefits is the biggest number. But then, of course, you've got just the upkeep of the buildings, which, you know, we have, you know, over 8,000 students in our 3 schools. The grounds are massive. There's you know, fields and parking lots, and you know, the buildings are starting to get a little bit older, so wear and tear. So there's a lot of money that gets appropriated for building, for care of the buildings. Transportation. You know, again, the state is supposed to pay at least a portion of our transportation cost. The state doesn't pay that anymore, so we're paying for the transportation of our students. In addition to that, the special education students that we have, a number of those students will go to other schools besides Stag Andrew or Sandburg, depending upon their needs. And so we'll pay for that too. So there are a lot of expenses that go into that number, and it takes quite a while to crunch the numbers and come up with, you know, what we're going to spend and what we're going to need. But on the good side, we have been able to balance the budget for the last 12 years.
Really?
Yes. And that is quite remarkable.
I just say that's
Quite
very remarkable.
Yeah.
Do you want? I guess when I talk to the state, on how you do that?
I think we could show them how. We're very conservative in what we do. We don't do anything we don't think is necessary. And I think from that perspective of watching where the money goes, you know, we'd like to think that we've been good caretakers for the public and for their money.
That's good to hear. I think we need to hear that that a school wants to be a little on the conservative side and maintains a balanced budget. You're not going in the hole and being behind. Round figures. What's your budget? You got an idea? I hate to throw this at you.
It's in the hundreds of millions of dollars.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
So it's a very large budget.
Wow.
You know, but the thing is, we are, as I said, we have over 8,000 students.
Right.
We are from just an overall size of the district, we're the 3rd largest district in territory in the state of Illinois.
Oh my.
We go all the way from Bridgeview to Tinley Park. Most people don't know Bridgeview is included in our district.
Yeah.
And then obviously we go, you know, from actually Ridgeland, a portion of our district goes out to Ridgeland, and then we go all the way out to almost Will Cook Road.
Wow.
So we're pretty large. So there's a lot involved in running the district.
Yeah. There's been controversy lately on this Senate Bill 1. How is that going to impact? How could that impact our school district?
Well, Senate Bill 1 could have a devastating effect on the district. There are right now a number of versions of that bill, and each version is dependent upon how much money we may get from the state. Unfortunately, if you look at it realistically, we're probably going to get the lowest number from the state.
And basically that they want to cut back what the state is supplying. They want the district to provide more funds?
Well, what the state is saying is that the districts who are financially well off should take the money and give it to the districts who are not. which is kind of contra to what the state's responsibility is. It shouldn't be our responsibility to take money from one school and give it to another. It should be the state's responsibility to fill that gap. The other thing that's not looked at in here is we are very fiscally responsible. There are other districts that are in trouble and taking less revenue than we do, but they spend more per student. If you look at how much we spend per student, we're one of the lowest in this entire area. Again, that's because we watch what we spend. But there could be some very negative impacts, not only on us, but on all the other schools, the elementary districts that feed into the school district. So we have a meeting coming up next Monday night where we've invited state senators and representatives to come and listen to the community about our concerns. We did this back in October and November on School Bill 16, or Senate Bill 16, and we got that rejected, but Senate Bill 1 is here, so we're working hard to try to take that out.
Well, good luck to you.
Oh, thank you. It's going to be tough.
We've got about a minute left.
Okay.
The testing, the big thing is testing in the schools now. What's your take on what's going on with this big state testing going on?
Well, the state has changed the way we test to something called PARC, and I know a lot of people have heard about it. This was the first year we did it. We're still not sure what's going to happen with it. It may be around next year. It may not. The state hasn't decided.
Really?
It took a lot of time. Our teachers and staff work really hard. So I guess we're just going to wait and see what happens going forward.
Yeah. No, I've heard, too, that it's taking a lot more time for these testing than the classroom teachers really want to spend on it. And that's taken away from their education, what they want to do.
It's taken students out of class quite a bit, and that's not a good thing.
No, it isn't.
So
Wow.
We're hoping things will change, but again, the state will tell us what they want us to do.
Wow. As usual.
Yes, as usual. That's right.
Well, it sounds like things are going fairly decent. We've got a pretty good school district going there. You're working very conservatively to keep our funds down. So keep up the good work
Thank you.
on doing that and keeping good schools in Tinley Park.
Yes.
That's probably the biggest thing.
And that's our goal.
Yeah, I would just say when elections come up and school board elections come up, kind of pay attention to who's running and who's in the offing for going for school board. They take care of a lot of, probably more money than a village has to take care of. So get an idea who's running and why they're running and elect the right people. Sounds like we've got the right people in there so far, so we'll keep up the good work. Again, a lot of things happening in Tinley Park this summer. Keep up the tinleypark.org to see what's going on with the cruise nights, farmers market, and all the movies and the concerts in the park. All right, thanks again for watching Discover Tinley. We'll see you next month.